experts on that. Now, what do I mean? Because there is no way, well, first of all, there's no way I would run around the world bowing to other dictators and usurpers out there. There's no way. I know some people say, even my father is once said, who are we to determine who can have a nuclear weapon and who can't? And my only, response to my dad is, well, one, you fought to keep the world safe, and nukes in the wrong hands, like the Soviet Union, puts us all in danger. Now, think about this. The Soviet Union and even China, they can be convinced of mutually assured destruction if they were to try anything. So they didn't. Peace through strength. Now, when it comes to nut jobs that run nut country, well, not the country, but the nut jobs that run countries, like Ahmadinejad of Iran, well, all bets are off when it comes. They don't care. I mean, if Ahmadinejad were to get a nuclear weapon, he would try to use it on Israel, knowing full well that we would totally retaliate on his butt. But he doesn't care. That's a different mentality. Those kind of people you don't want having a bomb. Not to mention, who says they're going to attach it to a missile? What was the, was it Clear and Present Danger? No. What was the Ben Affleck movie where they put a nuclear device in a soda machine, and that soda machine ended up at the Super Bowl where the president was? I mean, that's the kind of stuff that's going to happen. So, yeah, there are certain, for our own security, there are certain nations or leaders, if you will, that we can't allow to have nuclear weapons. I would not allow it. Not as long as they are on the same path and direction of hate and destruction as they're currently on. Not gonna happen. I sure as hell wouldn't let them get my equipment. They still got one of our drones. Wouldn't do it. Wouldn't let them keep it. Would have made sure that damn thing was blown up or we got it out of there. Not going to let them have that kind of stuff, that kind of technology. Because, hey, they can reverse engineer it. They're not stupid and use it against us, which is exactly what they're going to do. No, I'd be like Romney. I wouldn't allow China to be cheating, basically, in the economic field. Wouldn't do it. And no, I wouldn't capitulate to Putin. I'd say, look, we're putting these missiles here because our allies want them. Now, if you claim you want to join us, that'll be great. No, Russia did ask at one point to join NATO, to join the European Union. Well, if they really are at peace with the West and want to join the European Economic Union, then what's wrong with putting defensive missiles in certain countries? Yeah, you see, you got to read between the lines. And I sure as hell wouldn't have let our foreign ambassador to Libya be murdered without a fight. Absolutely not. They would have had the protection. Well, first of all, they wouldn't even have been where they were. And second of all, they would have had the protection they needed, especially on 9/11, the anniversary. But more likely, I would have had them out of the country. I don't even know why they were in the country. While they were in the region, they needed to be out of there. Even if they were just to sit on one of Obama's boats for a little while, a couple of days, that would be fine. under my watch, those 4 Americans, including the ambassador, would still be alive. Our economy would be booming, or at least on its way to being to recovery. Because I would push for a cut in taxes. I'd reduce the deficit because I'd reduce government spending. And I know people would say, well, Rod, you're going to hurt all the little people. No, government has hurt the little people the most. So what's going to help the little people the most? Getting government out of their way. And I just start defunding certain departments. Department of Education. No, we don't need that. It's doing a terrible... the reason why it was started was simply because, we need to improve our education. Well, our educational... We've spent more money than any other industrialized in any other industrialized nation on education, and our educational system has only gotten worse. Has anybody ever asked the question, well, what do we spend all the money on then if we're not getting a better end product in our educational system with all this money that we're spending? Well, nobody knows where it's going. Well, we're not getting it, that's for sure. You are... I don't know anybody who's getting it. Getting all that money. Because it's not working if they're spending it. Other than our military and our homeland security systems, I'd cut our government budget in half. Yeah, you heard it, half. Well, why not? Why not defense spending, Rod? Because the Constitution specifically states that the federal government is solely responsible for the national security of this union. It's supposed to spend its money. Federal government is supposed to spend its money on our military. I would increase the number of ships that we have floating and operational, not decrease them. I would sure as hell make sure that they were the fastest, not necessarily the biggest, but they'd be the fastest and baddest things on the water. Plain and simple. We wouldn't have anything else. And I'd sure as hell open up our energy resources. Because I wouldn't want us being dependent on anybody who is considered or could be considered to be an enemy of the United States. I'd get, getting oil from Canada. That's great. They're one of our closest friends. Oh, so it would behoove us to support them as they support us. I'd open up the continental shelf. I'd open up the Gulf for drilling. I'd open up interior lands for drilling. For clean drilling. We got technology for clean drilling. I'd bring down the cost of gas by increasing supply. I would allow manufacturers, oil refineries to expand and for new ones to be built. Again, to expand capacity and supply. Speaking of energy, I'd get rid of this notion that we're the cause of global warming. And I wouldn't be pushing for electric vehicles. That has got to be the dumbest thing. You people who drive around so proud of electric vehicles, where do you think you're getting the electricity to power those damn things from? You're not getting, unless you got your own little solar panel or wind turbine in your own backyard, it's coming from a fossil fuel generated plant or a nuclear plant. Now, I got to tell you, I think nuclear power as I wouldn't stop it, but I wouldn't promote it. I think nuclear power is overpriced, and we still don't have an adequate way of dealing with the spent waste. And I'm not a fan of nuclear power. I'm really not. Not because I think it's dangerous, because it's not. It's safe. It's clean and safe, but it's too expensive. I mean, those plants cost billions and billions and billions of dollars and take years and years and years to build. It's ridiculously expensive. And I think many of our nation's nuclear facilities need to go offline, but we need to replace them. Yeah, I'd push for more coal plants, clean coal. I'd push for more renewable plants that are, we've got a couple here in New Hampshire that are wood fired. Where it makes sense, I'd say go ahead. Put up solar and wind power where it makes sense. I'd encourage the American people to do the same. Put up your own solar panel on your roof and put up your own wind turbine in your backyard. I'd encourage that kind of stuff. I wouldn't be giving tax dollars to companies that would eventually fail like Obama did. Now, what I'm saying is all these things that I would be doing, it's logical. And it is within the bounds of the federal government and their duties from the Constitution. It is unconstitutional for the federal government to be giving our tax dollars away to private firms. There's nothing in the Constitution that says that. Yes, you will tax the individual so you can give to a corporation. There is no redistribution of wealth in this country. There's nothing in the Constitution that even comes close to determining that we have a system of redistribution of wealth. None, zip, zero, nada. And sure as hell wouldn't be allowing people to run around and start and talk about climate. And start wanting to put taxes and limits on people with climate. Speaking of climate, in this whole process here, this election season, there has been a noticeable silence in one specific area, and that is on climate change. Now, the main reason is because, I know Mitt has come out and said, he thinks that part of the problem is man-caused, and he's never said that he believes that the whole climate change thing is all man's fault. He has said that he believes that part of it is, and that what we can do is mitigate our part. But be that as it may, the reason why Obama doesn't want to bring it up is because of his massive failure in that area. He was supposed to lower the seas, cool the planet, heal the world, and it didn't happen. He was supposed to give us some alternative energy sources, and it seems like almost every single company that Obama gave some kind of government dollars to went broke, belly up, bankrupt. Of course there's going to be silence in that area because it's a death trap for Obama. I mean, you can't run around and say, I'm going to be the green president, and then no green energy takes place.